Hello everyone, and it's Cyber 1388 here as always on the Geometry Cast. Today we will be doing episode 4, and we will be talking about none other than all of the many, but not that many, characters of Geometry Dash. We're going to start with one of the first characters in the game. You, the player, is not really like referenced, but certain secrets of the game, which we'll talk about in the next episode, are related to your statistics or your like your player name and your star count. But we'll get to those, and like I said, in the next episode, which will probably drag on into 2 episodes, as there are a lot of secrets in Geometry Dash. Now, you are just the player, and no character, it's not like every character is like, oh, you're the player, but a lot of them do know that you exist, and have like some awareness that you have some sort of power, but not all characters have this, and really no characters do. But there is a possibility that they know, but they're just hiding it. Next, we're going to talk about all of the shopkeepers. I'm going to start with simply named the shopkeeper, who is the keeper of the shop, essentially. This shopkeeper looks like all the other shopkeepers, except has a much more red color on its entire, upper body, because that's what you can see. Next is Scratch, who is the shopkeeper of the secret shop. And in this one, you need 500 diamonds to unlock, but we'll talk about shops a lot more when we get to them in a different episode, and get more in depth into the shops and their shopkeepers a little bit more. Scratch is found in this shop, and he is a lot like the shopkeeper, but has a lot more of a green appearance instead of a red appearance. Next is Potboar, who is, funnily enough, Rob Top, the creator of the game, backwards. He is the shopkeeper of the secret shop. The community shop. We already did the secret shop. The community shop requires 200 diamonds to enter, and Potboar is much more yellow and purple. Next is one of the 2 new shops in 2.2, the Diamond Shopkeeper, who runs the only shop that uses diamonds as opposed to mana orbs. And, well, it makes sense, because he's the Diamond Shopkeeper. It's not like he's the it's not like the shopkeeper's the mana orb shopkeeper, but still. Because all the other ones do mana orbs, but he doesn't. But I'll talk a lot more about that in the shops episode. And next thing we need to talk about the Diamond Shopkeeper is that he is a lot more blue, and the only word that the Diamond Shopkeeper can say are shiny. I think are diamond and shiny. And he's like a toddler. He can't talk in much full sentences. I think the only one that he says is "give me shiny," It's like shiny and then give me shiny. And that's before you claim the 1,000 diamonds you need to unlock his shop. Last but not least out of the 5 shopkeepers is the mechanic, who runs the mechanic's shop. This one requires 200 diamonds. And he is a lot more purple, like a lot darker than the pop more purple. And this is the only shopkeeper to have some sort of glasses or goggles. All the other shopkeepers don't need glasses and don't need or to use glasses and or goggles. And in this shop, you can buy a lot of stuff that you can't really do in other shops. And in our trivia question for this episode is actually going to be based off of one of these shopkeepers. Next up are the 3 vaults. Well, not vaults. The 3 vault guardians, in which we'll talk more about the vaults when we get to the secrets, as the vaults contain about 95% of the secrets. And we're going to start with the Vault Keeper and go to the newest additions. We'll start with the Vault Keeper, like I said, and is actually the only Vault Keeper out of the 3 Vault Keepers that we're going to talk about and are in the game that can be found in Geometry Dash Light, Sub-Zero, and Meltdown. Because the way to get to the Vault Keeper's vault is you need 10 user coins, and in the settings menu, there is a lock in the top right corner that says 10 user coins. You tap on that and it takes you into the vault. And that's where you meet the Vault Keeper, whose real name is Spooky. The Vault Keeper looks like an easy demon icon, but with a much more dark face and different shaped horns, maybe. And the teeth look slightly different. Kind of like an easy demon with a hard demon with a slight palette of black on it. That's really what this one looks like. The next one is the Keymaster, the guardian of the Vault of Secrets, which is the keeper of the Vault of Secrets, like I said. Sorry, forgot that I said that once already. But what I'm going to say here is he looks a lot like a medium demon face with like a darker shade of purple and a little bit more of an attitude. And these 2 Vault Keepers are like, it's like the Vault Keeper is like, dude, get out of my place. The Vault of Secrets is like, please get out, like, please. And then when you don't, he starts turning into the Vault Keeper. And the Keymaster's name is actually Glubfub, which is very weird. And, just super weird. And the third and final vault that is currently in the game is the Chamber of Time, which is the hardest vault to get to, and has a lot of steps to it. But we're not going to talk about that yet. We're going to talk about that when we get to the vaults and the secrets. But the guardian of this one is actually the Gatekeeper, which is the only out of these past 9 characters that we've talked about to have confirmed lore. This character, the Gatekeeper, is actually Rub, who we'll talk about next. Rub's trusted pet. And is chosen to guard this vault. And we also learn from the different dialogues you get when you just tap on the gatekeeper's face, that the gatekeeper has actually, like, essentially been sealed away in here for about 1,000 years. One of the dialogues is, "This is my first conversation in 1,000 years." Or maybe it's 100 years. I think it's 1,000 years. Which means that the gatekeeper and also Rub are essentially immortal. It's implying that they are either immortal or they're pulling a Princess Celestia on us and are living for like billions of years. And also, this character does not look like the other two vault keepers, because they don't look like demon faces. They look like, this one looks like, imagine like a yellow dog that's currently biting onto like the One Ring that's like slightly larger, like just a giant gold ring from like Sonic or like the One Ring, and it's just holding it, just like and it's still able to talk, which definitely either implies that the ring is part of its body, or that the gatekeeper is psychic, which is probably the second one, because if the gatekeeper can live for over 1,000 years, then he's definitely a psychic. Next, we're going to talk about 2 more characters, and I think that's all we have is 2 more characters. Next up is, like I said, Rub, who is the god who created this entire world. We know that the Vault Keepers, well, specifically Glubthub and Spooky, have been ordered to guard these vaults, and are scared of Rub, like all the other characters. And the only character who we know has direct ties to Rub, or the gatekeeper, like we said earlier, who is Rub's pet. And most of the characters in this game, other than the shopkeeper, other than like the shopkeeper and like a few others, they always mention something about Rub. Like, the Vault Keepers are like, most characters say Rub's watching us. Like, Rub is a god that's flying around the sky and making sure that the people don't do bad things. Or they do what Rub wants them to do, which could be good or could be bad. We don't know. And the mechanic, a little bit of extra lore about the mechanic. The mechanic actually is like the mechanic, not just the mechanic of the shop, but essentially the mechanic of the entire Geometry Dash world, not the game, like the world that Geometry Dash is in. And this is because the mechanic says, can I ever, like, if you keep pestering the mechanic about getting into his shop before you have 2,000 diamonds, the mechanic says, can I get some peace and quiet in this game? Which essentially is saying that the mechanic is working for most of the characters in the game, which is kind of neat. Which probably means that the mechanic is actually a mechanic. Next is the Demon Guardian, who is like the character with the most lore. Because after you get 200 diamonds and prove your worth to the Keymaster by playing the challenge in the Vault of Secrets, you can go into the basement and the Keymaster's like, there's a chest down there, claim your reward, but come back up here and don't do anything down there. Don't talk to anyone down there. And there actually is someone down there, and that someone is none other than the Demon Guardian, who is trapped inside of a cage and is definitely a guardian, as he literally says that he has spies. Like, in order to free him, you have 3 keys. One of the keys, you have to complete the Chaos Gauntlet, which you don't get access to until you talk to the Demon Guardian. And then you can have access to the Chaos Gauntlet. And after beating that, you can get a key. I think that's the only key that I don't have. Because I suck at Scarlet Surge. Scarlet Surge is very annoying, and I hate it. But I am kind of sad that the creator of it left GD like 2 years ago. But let's get off that topic and get back onto the Demon Guardian. You can get another key by going into the Chamber of Time, and there's a key in the Chamber of Time. And he says that it's guarded by Rub-Rub's trusted pet, who is the gatekeeper in the Chamber of Time. And he actually gives you a clue on how to get into the Chamber of Time. And you cannot get into the Chamber of Time until you talk to the Demon Guardian for the first time. The third key you get by opening 50 chests. And this is where he mentions the spies. He says, Rub-Rub has hidden the keys well, but I have my spies. Unlock this key by opening up 50 chests. I think that's what he says. It's something along the lines of that. And after you free the Demon Guardian, he says, I'm gonna destroy Geometry Dash. And prior to 2.2, he said, I'll see you in 2.2. But I don't know what he says after. And I would know if I could beat the dang Chaos Gauntlet. So I'll let you know after I beat the Chaos Gauntlet, which will probably be in a little while. But yeah, but after that, you get access to the Demon Gauntlet, which presumably has all demon levels in it, which is not going to be good for me. But we have 2 more characters that you can only find in the tower. So, the first of the 2 characters that you can only find in the tower are this skeleton dude, who appears in almost every level. It's just a skeleton that normally chills by corners where the wall meets the floor. And I don't remember its name, but it'll come back to me at some point. And, well, I'll tell you guys in a future episode, as in like a note. And, well, if you think about it, this skeleton dude has clearly died, but his soul is still in a skeleton. So there's a little bit of lore, and we know that the tower is like this dangerous place. And there's one more character that you can only find in the tower, not the level of the tower, but the tower where you can play the 4 platformer levels, which is the computer thing. The computer thing, I don't know what its actual name is, but it appears in the tower, in the sewers, in the secret hollow. In the tower, it brings you into a door in which you fall into a pit and finish the level. In the sewers, it unlocks the door to, I believe it unlocks the door to when you get to the top of the demon tower, which is like the second half of the sewers, you can the computer guy's like, alright, I'll unlock the door so you can finish the dang level, but he doesn't say that. He says something like more lore implying. Next is in the Secret Hollow. When you become the robot, he's like, I think he says, you shouldn't be here. And fun fact, there's actually another character that I just remembered. The boss of the Secret Hollow, and I accidentally, so the appearance where you become the robot, the third level, is actually the cellar, not the Secret Hollow. The Secret Hollow is the final level, where you fight the Cursed Thorn. The Cursed Thorn is a boss, and there are technically only 3 bosses in Geometry Dash, one of which I haven't even played, besides in practice mode. This one is a pretty hard boss. It shoots red lasers at you, and it also shoots green lasers, in which, no, it doesn't shoot green lasers. It shoots red-looking projectiles that when it hits the ground, it breaks. And every once in a while, it'll shoot a green projectile, which, if you touch which give off like an arrowhead-looking thing. If you touch the arrowhead, it'll shoot at the Cursed Thorn, but if the Cursed Thorn moves out of the way, it won't hit. After 3 hits, it goes into phase 2, in which it starts shooting it at a rapid pace. When it's about a half health, it goes into phase 3, in which it starts shooting lasers, and I've not gotten past phase 3 because I suck at this boss fight. So, yeah, that is definitely pretty hard. And like I said, there are 2 other bosses. The next boss is the skeleton boss thing. You can find in the level Press Start, who just curses and then chases you until you get into the single screen section, and then just presumably dies at the beginning of the 1-1 screen. And then at the end of the 1-2 screen, he says continues on it, and then when you get into the final ship section, he goes under the level and then comes back up in front of you and a lot larger, and then starts shooting lasers at you, and you have to dodge the lasers. There's only one, so it's not like you have to dodge a ton of lasers. There's a coin you can get for going into a really tight space. The top and bottom you can't touch. And after that, you pretty much end the level. And yeah, there's also one side character that you can count as a character. There are the monsters that were added in 2.0, in which you can find them in all kinds of places. It's like the infestation, you could say. And I guess you could say like they're the demons. But after that really long explanation of the 3 tower characters, the skeleton boss, and the monsters, I think it's finally time to end the episode. I know this is a pretty long episode, but we only have a few more segments remaining. We're going to start with the trivia section. And like I said, it was about one of the shopkeepers. What? There are actually 2 in this one. The first one, and they're both about the shopkeepers. So the first one is, what is the only shopkeeper to be able to be found outside of their shop? A, the shopkeeper. B, Scratch. C, Potboar. D, the diamond shopkeeper. Or E, the mechanic. I'll give you some time to answer. So, hopefully you've answered by now. And the correct answer is B, Scratch. In 2.2 update, it added 3 new gray buttons and a new button that is actually functional. Actually, no, 2 new buttons that are functional, I think. Right? I think it's only 1, though. No, I think it's paths. And there's 3 gray buttons that are said to come out 2.21. With one of them being verses, which is the first time you can see Scratch outside of it. In which, if you touch it once, the Keymaster's like, this has been delayed, and then you touch it again, Keymaster says, yeah, it's still delayed, and Scratch touches, and he's like, well, we gotta blame RobTop, and then you tap it again, Keymaster says, who else should we blame? We're not even real, and then, you press it again, Scratch is like, no, we're real, with red eyes, and then the Keymaster says, but I'm real, and then the Keymaster says, yeah, a real pain in the ... and then gets cut off, and then you tap again, and it says, you're just mad because you don't have a shop. And then touch it again, the Keymaster's like, wait, you have a shop? And then Scratch is like, and I like this part, I love this part, and Scratch is like, you touch it again, Scratch is like, oh no, I've said too much. Quickly, get to the chopper! And then the Keymaster's like, you don't have a chop. And then it just cuts off. And then the next one's Scratch and a chopper. And then it's ... And then the next one is the Keymaster with, like, the eyes wide open. And he's like, and then it's ... Because he's speechless. And then the other way you can find Scratch is the first time you touch the tower, the Scratch tells you about the tower. Like, about how it's, like, old and abandoned and that you shouldn't go in there. The second question, I know that one took a really long time to answer. It's already been 3 minutes into the trivia section, but just bear with me here. This one is, what is the only shopkeeper that appears if you press a item and you try to buy it if you don't have enough currency? If you did not answer yet, pause it and then answer it after. But the correct answer is the shopkeeper, which makes sense. The shopkeeper was the original shopkeeper, and they're not going to program the same dialogue 5 different times. Like, it makes no sense. Well, essentially the same dialogue. And, well, it's time to go to the outro. Yeah. Alright. Well, that was the episode. Our next episode will be about the secrets of Geometry Dash. Like the things that you can get for doing stuff that, like the achievements that you can get that say a secret, and then the description's like, a secret is required, but it doesn't tell you how to get it. Those are the secrets that I'm talking about. And also, like, the secret things that you can find. I probably already talked about some, but I'm not going to spoil the ones that I did and the ones that I didn't. But today was a great episode, and it was also a pretty long one. And tell me what you thought of it in the poll at the bottom. And this is Cybor1388. At the end of this episode, signing off. Did I press end? No, I didn't. Because there's one more thing I have to say. If you would like to send me a voice message, please go to https://podcast.spotify.com/pod-show/the-geometry-cast. That was https://pod-show/the-geometry-cast. It will also be in the description of this episode. Bye, and for real this time, Cyber1388 signing off.